Welcome to FitBody Lifestyle, the show where we dive deep into the world of fitness, health, business, relationships, and the art of living a balanced life. I'm Jamie.
And I'm Greg, and we're here to give you the benefit of our experiences in the fitness and bodybuilding industry, the corporate world, running a business, personal development, and building healthy relationships.
Whether you're sweating it out in the gym, hustling in your business, or seeking balance in your everyday life, you're in the right place.
So lace up those sneakers and grab that water bottle, and let's get ready to transform our minds, our bodies, and our lives. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of FitBody Lifestyle. God, I'm just like, I'm slow on the uptake today. So sorry for that. But we have a special guest, and Margaret from Toxic Angelz Bikinis.
Yes.
And I'm also joined here by my partner in crime, Jamie, Mama Bear. So Margaret, take a minute and introduce yourself.
Are you going to have her do her check-in word
that's
first?
right. Thank you for reminding me. So before we get into introductions and everything, do your check-in word for how you're feeling or your intention for the day.
I'm nervous.
Okay.
And you won't be for long. Okay.
This is just a conversation we want to have, and it'll be. I want you to think that we're not even. I know it's hard because like the microphones are right here and everything, but the cameras and everything. But we just want to have a conversation with you. So because you're super interesting and you're a leader in this industry, so tell people about you.
Well, and before you start, I just want to add too, and we also came up together.
That's right.
We started our businesses around the same time and around the same area of the country. So we got to meet. So we've kind of got to be part of each other's evolution. So I think this is going to be a really fun conversation.
I love it.
For that purpose too. So Go ahead, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. So my name is Margaret. I'm the owner at Toxic Angelz Bikinis. And I guess let me just talk about how I started. And
Perfect.
So I never knew how to make bikinis. So before making bikinis, I was a dental assistant for 10 years. And during that time, I was going to school to go into the dental hygiene program. And towards the end of my orthodontic assistant career, I ended up getting laid off. I had competed in about, I think, 6 shows at that time. So I started making bikinis. And I knew I wanted to make bikinis for the bodybuilding industry, because I had competed and the suits that I wore didn't fit properly. And I wanted to make good quality suits so that everyone could fit into them. So when I started my business, I actually got accepted into the dental hygiene program, and which is, you work so hard and take all those classes trying to get into the dental hygiene program, and you're actually in it. So I thought I could do both. I thought I could go to hygiene school, get my degree, and then I could run my business and build it up. No, that didn't work. So I went to school for 1 month, and finally I was sitting there like, what do I do? Do I take the risk and follow my dreams, or do I do the safe route and go to school and be safe and get a degree that I'm going to use forever? Well, of course, I took the risk and followed my dreams. And I felt bad at that time because I did take a spot for someone, because it's the lottery for system to get into the program. I took someone's spot, but I really thought I was going to go through with school, but I didn't. So then I, quit school. I started my business out of a home that I was renting at that time. And I just remember just trying to perfect the perfect pattern and cutting them up. And I would go to the gym and find girls to try on my bikinis. And I would go home and be like, okay, I need to make some changes. And, and I would do that until I perfected the perfect patterns to start using to sell the bikinis. So that took a while. And then because I was renting out of the room, my roommate said I couldn't do business at the house anymore. So I ended up renting an office space in the ghetto. It's really ghetto. And I remember it was one of those old buildings that you walk up the creaky stairs and you go inside the door and there's a bunch of little office buildings and it's just old and run down. It looks like almost vacant. Well, I lived there. So I lived there and ran my business, and the landlord did not know that I lived there, but I had to do what I had to do. I was in a very toxic relationship at that time. I had moved away from my hometown. So I was already away from my hometown in a toxic relationship. So I lived in that office space with no bathroom or kitchen. And I just remember, showering every day at the gym, living off. I'm going to cry. But
we usually do.
But I remember just like going to the store and just buying chicken or like living off of whatever I could microwave in the office at that time. And the bathroom that I used was like in a hallway, right? So in the middle of the night, if I had to go pee, I had to make sure I locked my door and that no one was like, in there in the middle of the night. And not lock myself out just to go pee because it was that scary, Or what if I like locked myself out accidentally and couldn't get in and it was the middle of the night? So that's what I did. And since I had gotten laid off, I didn't have any money. So I was living off food stamps and I would take each bikini that I sold because I had just started, so I would put back into the business. And I remember I stopped paying my bills because if I paid my bills, I knew that I couldn't get ahead. So, now I pay my bills. I pay my bills.
We figured that was temporary, yeah.
I pay my bills now, but I had to do what I had to do to get ahead. And I just used all my energy being in that toxic relationship towards my business instead of being depressed or, going under and, being more, depressed. I just used all that energy that I had, the anger, and I put it all towards my business. And I put myself out there. I wasn't scared. And that's kind of how I started.
That's pretty amazing. I'm so glad you shared that because that's more than I knew. I knew pieces, but I had no idea. And it's just so admirable that you took the risk, believed in yourself and, had to suffer in the beginning. And I think it's really interesting because I think a lot of times people see when you're successful where you are now and they have no idea it took to get there. And so I definitely, starting your own business it's really difficult.
It's really hard. And I was alone, I didn't ask for help. My parents didn't know where I was living, it was very lonely, but I knew that I had a vision and I knew that's what I wanted to do. And I put everything into it. And this was the only way.
How did you learn to sew?
I never knew how to sew. I remember going to fashion school back, when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. But I still didn't learn how to sew then. So what I did was I bought machines and I took classes and I, just kept practicing and practicing. I literally felt like I was this mad scientist. I would sew, it wasn't right. I would make sure it's right and it had to be perfect. And I remember like some of the bikinis I sewn like, in the very beginning, they were horrible. But I kept perfecting it. But there was a lot of trial and error, but we got it.
So I have questions, and a lot of them. But the first question is, let's go to that moment of after how you were accepted in dental hygiene school, and you're attending that school, and after a month in that program, you said you got to a point where you had to figure out what you wanted to do, because you couldn't run the business and do the school at the same time. So you said, I had to figure out what I wanted to do. I'm wondering how much of what you wanted in that moment prevailed. I mean, what was the driving force that led you to choose the business over the hygiene school that you had worked very hard to get into?
Because I'm not a school person, and it was a lot of reading, a lot of studying. I had commuted 2 hours, I think, there, plus the studying, and I can't sit there and study. I mean, I did it because I went to school, took all the prereqs, but then I also started to love what I was doing, and it didn't feel like work. And I just was like, I can't do it anymore.
Wow.
And I wanted to take the risk. And I feel like not a lot of people are willing to take that risk. They just want to, be safe. And I took the risk and I believed in it. And
what year was this in?
2014.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, 2014.
And then when did we meet?
I think shortly after that.
Because that's what I thought.
Yeah.
It was pretty
shortly
close to that then.
It's been like over 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah,
isn't that crazy?
And I know Greg has a lot of questions, but I'm just reminiscing a lot and thinking about like realizing now like where you were and what you were doing when we first met, because you connected with me and you said, hey, you know, how can I support you and your athletes? And you and I have talked about this many times, because it was what impressed me so much about you, because you know, so many people were coming to me asking me what I could do for them. And you came and asked me what you could do for me. And I was like, wow, like I was just so impressed by that. And
I want like everyone to look good and feel good. And that's my job, you know? And if something's not right, I'll make it right. And I don't want anyone to ever go on stage and feel like they don't love their suit. And, you know, there's been times that I think one of your clients, her top, it was too small. And I was like, okay, she's really big up top. Okay, we're going to do this custom top. And I worked with you on it to make sure it was perfect. And I was praying.
And it was perfect. And she got a pro card.
She got a pro card. And I was praying that it was going to get there on time for her national show. And like we did it and it worked. So, I mean, that's what I do. I don't want anyone to go on stage not loving their suit. Yeah. They've worked so hard. They spent countless days, hours, eating, not eating, you know, like all the things. I don't need them to be worried about their suit.
Well, and I love you say that, because I think the fact that you're an athlete and have competed yourself, it's the same for me. Like me, I look at things like, what would I have wanted? Yeah. You know what I mean? What would have meant a lot to me? Yeah. And that's how you're looking at it. It's like how that felt to you to not have a suit that fit properly. And like, it makes a difference.
That would be sad. I mean, they work so hard and like, it's what they're going to be wearing. And yeah, that would be very sad if it was not right.
So my next question.
Back to me.
No, and it's not back to me. It's really to you.
Babe.
But so you said that towards the end that you just after I mean, I can't even imagine living in an office space. And well, actually, I
had people. I had a lot of clients go through there. I think there was a couple that came through that actually, like recently, that actually got fitted there.
Wow.
Oh, it was very scary.
Well, see, and I'm so glad you said that word, because that's exactly the word I wanted to talk about. Because you said I wasn't scared. I wasn't scared because I had a vision and everything. And so I'm curious, and I want to just pull on that thread a little bit. Were you not scared at all? Or
I mean, I was scared.
Clearly you were scared for your life because of where you were, but were you scared about where this was going to lead?
You know, I didn't think that it was going to be where it is now. I just knew that at that time when I left school, I did not want it anymore. And I knew that I wanted to make bikinis and have fun. But I didn't know where it was going to take me. I just knew this is what I was going to do.
So I'm curious, like, where did it take you? So like, how many suits approximately do you make a year now?
Oh, I don't even know. Like, maybe like 300-400 a month stage suits.
That's awesome.
That's not counting roughly, but yeah.
And then you've also got the other side, the suits that are not.
The posing suits. Yeah. Which are different. Yeah.
And then other products as well.
We do just some like little, essentials, like sleeping bag, which I highly recommend too. It's like lightweight. It covers the whole bed and the pillowcase, and they just get in and it's breathable, and they don't have to worry about getting tan on their sheets and getting charged hotel fees.
Which is a lot easier to travel with than sheets.
Yeah, because I think the sheets are bigger. So this is like this big, and it's like very flat.
So it fits into the suitcase, and like they don't have all the
or even like their
stuff.
shoe. They can like roll it up and put in their shoe. Actually, that's a great idea.
That is a really good. I was like,
I just thought about that.
You know what? Get the sheets and then roll them up.
Yeah, and put in your shoe. No, it's very thin. So,
and that'll give you room for your FitBody blanket that you're going to use backstage to lay on.
Perfect. No, it's perfect. I love it.
This is like an infomercial.
Yeah.
No, but it's really
slap chop.
That's true though. All the things you need.
So, what did it take inside of you in those months? So how long were you in that situation?
Oh, like 8 months.
Okay. So, where?
So when I met Jamie, I was there.
So where on that 8 months did you stop paying the bills?
I stopped paying like when I started, in the beginning.
Okay.
So I probably started to pay, I mean, I don't know timeline, but maybe like 4 or 5 months I started to slowly pay the bills,
Okay.
you know, before they cut me off, or I don't know. I don't remember.
No, but it's like you had to buckle down and do what you had to do.
Down. Otherwise,
I mean, you risked everything.
I risked my
everything.
credit.
Yeah, you risked everything. Yeah.
I don't know, losing electricity or whatnot, but I had to.
And it paid off.
Yeah, it paid
well,
off.
and what I would say, Margaret, is we talk about mindset a lot in this thing. You didn't have to. Nobody was holding a gun to your head. It wasn't a survive or die situation, but it was a choice that you made, a conscious choice, and that's part of what I want to get into is how did you talk to people around you? Was it just your singular vision? Because I know you said you were in a toxic relationship. So is that how we named Toxic Angelz, by the way?
That question, is it?
No, okay. So because it's like, back then I used to ride a motorcycle. And so I felt like toxic is like badass, but then it's like Angelz is like innocent. So that's kind of like
it's the polarity.
Yeah.
I like that.
So did you have a BFF? Did you
like,
it was all just you?
So alone at that time that it just all came out of my head.
So I mean, I know being in a toxic relationship, a lot of times you're isolated in that relationship. Yeah. So coming out of something like that, you probably were pretty isolated then.
Yeah, I just was focused on me. There was no one telling me, giving me any guidance or anything. I just did those things.
So what was it? I'm curious now. What was in the office space? Did you have a sewing machine?
I had a sewing machine and like a serger. So the serger is like a sewing machine. It sews like the elastic to the fabric. I had that, and then I had like a heat press. So we press our stones onto the suit so that they never fall off instead of using glue. So we had a heat press, and then I had like a little desk.
How did you discover that difference, by the way? Did you?
Well, a lot of trial and error. Okay. So when I first started, I was learning everything, trying to figure out a way to make the suits. So we would glue them, and they're like, okay, that doesn't work because when you glue them, it doesn't stay on, and then the glue gets everywhere. And then we were using like the little like tools that you stick the crystal into one at a time, and you put it on the bikini. But we realized you could use 6 tools. So you put the crystal in the first tool and then let it heat up. And then by the time you get to the 6th tool, the crystal will already heat up, and then you could just put it, on the suit. But that still took like 4 hours. So in the beginning, it would take about 4 hours.
Wow.
4 hours-ish to make them. And then now we use a heat press that, does it all.
I'm amazed how the stones stay on. Cause I mean, there are suits out there. Yeah. And I mean, because we have athletes in and out of our hotel room.
Oh.
And so a lot of times there's like stones everywhere. I'm like, why are all these stones?
Yeah.
Not your suits.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Like, I mean, it's very rare I see, a stone come off, and obviously the girl's got to take care of them and be gentle with them and things like that too. But
I've had clients come to me after 8 years, like ordering their suit 8 years ago, and they're like, my suit's still brand new, and they bring it in. I'm like, oh my God, it's still really good. And I think that's what sets us apart, because you spend so much on your suit, you don't want to have to worry about the stones fall off, especially on show day, and even though it's a big investment, your suit is going to last forever. So spend the money, get a good quality suit that's going to last you forever, versus spending money on a poor quality suit and then having to buy another suit because you don't like the fit. It's kind of like you're spending double the money. So
I would rather pay 10 times for something that lasts, that I love, than buy 10 things that don't last, that just that I have to keep replacing.
Yeah. And if there is like a stone or two falling off, then it's like a production error or something, then I want to know about it. But it shouldn't fall off.
Well, that's actually, I'm glad you said that, because you said that one of the things that you want to be known for is the quality of your suits. And I think you are, at least from our standpoint.
Yeah, thank you.
But I would tell you the thing that we look at you the most for, and the thing that we love, one of the qualities in you personally, but also from a business standpoint that we love, is is your openness to feedback. And part of that is that your recognition that you can always be better. And to get there, you've got to be able to get the feedback, because we've been able to call you and talk over certain things and tell you, hey, you know, as a client's not satisfied, that top story that you just told us about. I mean, that was a back and forth thing that, you know, was challenging. Yeah.
But we got it.
We got it.
I was so nervous.
Blown away.
I was so nervous. I was sitting there like, does she get it? Okay, it's delivered. Try it on. And so that, you know, I care. And yeah. So
has that always been the case with you, where you've always been open to feedback? Or
I mean, I think so.
Okay.
Because I want to know. I want to know, like, if I need to change something or something's not working for someone, I want to know so I can make it right and so that they have a good experience.
Right.
Or if it's something that we need to do that's different, you know? And so I want to know.
It's something that really frustrates us with clients, is that we know we're not going to be everything to everybody. I mean, that just is impossible. So when a client leaves or an athlete leaves, if just giving us that feedback about what they liked or what they didn't like, what worked, what didn't work, I mean, just be honest with us about that stuff. I want to hear that. I don't want to hear a lie like, oh, you know, I'm leaving the country for a year, and then to see them at a show the next week, you know, it's like you're going to come across people in this is a relatively small industry. So we run across each other all the time, and I don't get that. It'd be like you if
they're scared to be honest.
Yeah.
Which I think, as you know, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, like the only way to be successful is be willing to take the feedback, because that's the only way we get better and grow. And I know you and I have connected on that a lot. And like, I appreciate, people don't realize like how much I think that we appreciate the feedback. I mean, not obviously we always appreciate the accolades, but we really appreciate the things when
I appreciate it.
When we know, hey, there's something I can be better at. Cool.
Yeah.
You know, I know there was a point where you had moved your factory at a point, and there was a few little things, and I reached right out and
I want to know.
You were like, oh, thank you. And then
because I would never know.
Immediately you got it corrected, and then it kept from, you know, I mean,
totally.
But that's the thing though, is it's like, if somebody doesn't reach out, maybe something goes unnoticed for a little while, and then you're playing catch up. So I always really appreciate that.
I appreciate you reaching out and, you know, letting me know things so I could fix it, make it better.
Yeah. It's been a long time since I've had to reach out for anything, quite honestly.
The top thing was not that was really not a feedback.
Yeah, that wasn't an issue of a suit. It was it was a specific need of somebody that was unusual.
Yeah.
So talk to us about what it looks like now. So I assume that you've moved out of the ghetto.
No, I still live there.
Do you? Okay, all right.
And I don't pay my bills. I'm just kidding.
All right.
No,
good
with
thing.
the kids. Oh my God, the husband.
Well, I guess he's not new anymore. But
it's like 6 years.
Oh, and maybe we should pause on what it looks like now for a second and just go back and say, oh, by the way, you're a mother and a wife and these things, yeah?
Yeah, you've been super busy.
Yeah. So, yes, I'm a mom, and I never wanted kids, so I have 2 kids, and they're so cute.
They're adorable.
But it is an adjustment because I went from working like 10 to 14 hours a day to, you know, I have limited hours. And that's hard because they're young, you know, and I'm used to working so much.
Well, you're still working so much. You're just not making suits anymore.
I'm not doing 14-hour days, but you know.
Well, so I bet you are doing 14-hour days. You're just not doing 14-hour days in the business.
Yeah, I'm always working. Yeah. What am I saying? Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
You're wiping the chins. You're doing clothing. Whatever you're doing for the kids. I mean, kids are not like. Unfortunately, they're not so totally self-sufficient at the young ages.
No.
How are you managing that with the business?
Good. So I have a nanny, you know, and then my husband's very supportive and he's very helpful. So it's good. I'm glad I have him and he's like there to help and everything. So.
Do you guys have a division of labor in your house or?
No, we just kind of like whatever we see, whoever does it. Like if he's with the kids, I'll do it, you know. It's like unspoken. It's weird.
We're exactly the same.
It's like, you know, if I'm playing with the kids, he'll start dinner. He won't even ask me or vice versa. So
the only thing that's a must do in our household is that I must make the coffee in the morning. That's
well, you.
No, I'm not complaining, babe.
He gave
by the way, I'm
himself
not
that
complaining.
task. And he doesn't drink coffee, by the way.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I have been this week.
Yes.
Why this week and not other weeks?
Well, when we went to Europe, for the last couple of weeks, he started drinking coffee, which he never has since
that's so funny.
the 20 years we've been together. So,
well, Jamie puts, I don't know if you know Jamie's concoction. I know this is totally off topic, but so she puts egg whites in her coffee.
Oh,
and egg whites, pea milk, and a little bit of stevia, and it's tasty.
Really?
And it's such a great bump in your protein for the day. And I'm,
Totally.
you know, it sounds like an infomercial now myself.
I'm so busy that I don't have to eat it. Like I don't want to take the time to cook them and eat them. So this was my solution.
I like that idea.
Yeah,
it's
I
really
might
good.
try that,
It's really good.
It's really good.
Probably makes it creamier too, or
it does. It does.
Oh,
the key is like when he warms it up, you have to only warm it up for a little while so it doesn't turn into
look like it. Yeah.
Well, there's some other tricks that I employ too, but I'm going to keep those trade secrets. So
he won't even let me know.
Oh. Okay.
Okay, so let's get back on target or on topic, whatever target topic. So what does the operation look like today?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, so when I first started, I like in the little office space, right? And now I actually have departments. Is that crazy?
No.
Like
That's awesome.
it's just crazy because I never thought that I would be here. I just knew I wanted to make bikinis. I didn't know what was going to happen. But I actually have like a rhinestone department. I have a seamstress department. I have, social media. I have a manager. I have a manager that oversees all the seamstress. I have a manager that, oversees all the rhinestone technicians. And then I have a shipping station.
So how many employees do you have?
I have 13 employees.
Wow.
A lot.
That's a lot. That's a far cry from in the ghetto with a microwave and just you locking the door so you can go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But it's not, and I want people to know, like I feel like they don't see what it takes to make a bikini. It's not there's just a bikini. No, there's a lot of steps and it takes a lot of time and a lot of hard work, and you have to make sure everything is perfect from the start to the end, So it's like we take a piece of fabric, we have to cut it to the pattern, and it has to be perfect. And then you have to sew the lining onto it. And then you have to sew the elastic onto it. And then you have to like fold it and do the outside. And then you have to put the connectors, the straps. There's so many steps. It really does take a long time.
Well, how long does it take to make it?
It takes about like an hour and a half-ish, depending on, because every suit is different. The design,
Yeah, I was going to say they're all so custom.
Yeah, they're also custom. So yeah, an hour.
Well, and one of the things that I think is really cool with you guys is that Toxic has such a great website, and it's so interactive, and it's so and I mean I'm assuming that that's an ongoing evolution of determining how to make it better.
Greg loves to order his bikinis on the website.
I know. I didn't know you like went on my website. I love it.
Mine was a little tight, but it's
okay. Well, I'll adjust it for you.
Okay.
Well, I think you just gained a little weight between the time you measured.
Wow. Thanks, babe.
Oh my God.
We're killing Margaret over here.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness. When are you going to venture into men's bikinis?
Oh my gosh.
Well, there's men's wellness in Brazil. We saw those pictures.
I mean, could you imagine? Come here, get down. I don't know. Oh my gosh, that would be funny. But I forgot what we were saying. I forgot what we were saying.
We were talking about
the website.
The website.
Oh, the website.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, did you know that I recently had started a website? Maybe 4 years ago. So for the first 7 years or almost 7 years, I was handwriting everything because for someone to build a website with all the things like the custom options that I need, it was really hard. And so we finally have it now, but before it was just all handwritten. And I remember going to the expo, like Arnold Expo. Oh my gosh, everything was handwritten. But now it's nice because you could go back, and look up the client's order history and all of that. But it took a lot of work because it's very customized, and every division is different. Or like if you order a posing suit, the options have to be different than if you're ordering a stage suit. It's just a lot. But, we do a lot of like in-person fittings and like phone calls so that clients I'm impressed with clients who order online and everything looks good. But we do have, we do offer calls where we help you like design the suit and go over everything because sometimes the website's very overwhelming. But if they do like place an order on the website, we go over everything. So like if they select the wrong size, we'll email them and be like, hey, you need this size instead. So we do that because I'm not going to, I don't want them to get it and it's not fitting. So we always make sure we go through all the website orders to make sure that everything was selected correctly.
And you also have presence at a lot of the shows where you will do fittings at the shows. And then do you have, I know we went to a posing thing at a gym and it looked like you had a storefront there or something like you're doing. Where was that in Southern California?
Malacca's gym?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we rent a space from him and we do fittings out of Costa Mesa like 4 or 5 times a month. We actually have a fitting day today.
Oh, nice.
And they could just go online and book or like email us if they want to.
That's cool.
Which is nice.
That's cool. Do you get a lot of turnout for that?
I do, actually.
You do that at our events too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, I miss them. Are you going to do any?
We have our big summit that we're planning now for February.
Okay, well, that's like every year. But are you going to do any in California? No?
That one's going to be in Phoenix. Oh, okay. So not too far.
Yeah.
You guys came out the last time we did it in Phoenix.
I don't think I did the Phoenix one.
You didn't, but you had somebody come out.
Did I do the Phoenix? I did the Texas one.
The Texas, but this was like 2 years ago.
Oh, okay. Maybe.
I think so.
Oh, yes. It was very hot.
Yes.
I remember.
Welcome to Arizona.
But yes.
Well, February will not be hot.
Okay, good.
Yeah, February will not be hot.
That's one of the reasons we chose February, although it's difficult because we have a lot of other things going on in Phoenix.
At the Grand. Yeah.
Okay. The Grand, what's it called? The Arizona Grand Resort.
And I just had my baby and I brought her.
I remember that.
Now.
Yeah.
I remember.
Your baby's so cute.
She's so cute. They're so funny.
I think you guys have been at every event that we've done. So
thank you for having us.
I remember we still have back when the selfie sticks were like really pop. Remember when we took that picture at the gym when we had a gym?
I have that picture on my phone still.
I love that picture.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. It was so cute.
It was really cute. Yes. It was like, I think it was a posing clinic we had done or something. This is when you were very first getting in. We were both very first getting started.
I'm going to have to pull that out for you. It's like deep in my phone, but I just go back, all the way back.
Yeah.
There's a lot on there. I'm sure. I think I came across a picture of you the other day. All right, so here's where I'd like to go now. I'm sorry, part of this episode is reminiscing, honestly, because we've got so many shared memories together. So that which is wonderful, and I'm looking forward to all those that we'll build in the future. Which almost sounds like the ending of this episode, which is not. So let's go with this. And we talked about this off camera a little bit, which is this industry. There's a lot of passion and enthusiasm and love of bodybuilding and all this entire industry. There's supplements, there's suits, there's coaching, there's tanning, there's jewelry, there's weights, there's equipment, there's all these things, clothing, all these things. What made you choose the bikini piece?
I think because I've always loved like lingerie fashion, and so I think I mentioned this before. Like I went to fashion school like a few classes before trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And I love bikinis. I love putting them on. And I remember I used to alter them a lot. So that's what made me want to make bikinis. I don't know why I picked the hardest thing to do, but literally the hardest thing to do. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, they are very difficult. They're a lot different than making a men's classic suit. I mean, which is, anyway, you could.
And we do everything in-house. So our production is in-house. So if you ever come over, I'll show you the, production, but it's all done in the office.
How big is the office space?
I think it's like 2,600 square feet.
Oh, so it's not huge, but it's good size.
Yeah, it's a good size. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Still have the original sewing machine and serger?
No, those broke. We're going too hard on it,
Okay.
Those were retired.
Those were retired.
Is it hard finding seamstresses?
It is very hard.
Yeah, I've heard that.
It's very hard because it's a niche. Not everyone knows how to sew swimwear, and they have to be good at it.
So how do you find them?
I was very lucky.
Okay.
So I found someone, and then she had a sister, and then she had a brother, and then she had a friend, and then she had a friend. And so they're all related. They all have good work ethic. They all work the same, and they all care about their job.
That's a blessing.
That's
I'm
difficult.
very lucky.
Yeah.
Very lucky.
Well, I would also say that part of it is you, Margaret, is that people are attracted to you because of your energy, or you just have a wonderful spirit. And I don't think things happen because of luck. I think things happen because of who you are, the people that you draw to you. So I that's something you can't teach. But it then leads me to this question. So I didn't hear anything in the background that you gave us about business, like business school or accounting or anything like that. But yet you're running this large enterprise, 4,000 suits, 4,000 to 5,000 suits a year, which is not a small number. I don't know the math on that. That's maybe 3 suits a day, 4 suits a day, which is a lot given the time constraint that goes into that. And then that's just the competition suits. That doesn't speak to the posing suits and the other stuff that you're making. So how did you acquire the business skill set?
I just learned as I went. I don't know.
How much failure was involved in that?
A lot of failure in the beginning. I don't remember. I remember there was just a lot of failure in the beginning, like you just learn as you go. I can't remember exactly, but just things. You want to be able to trust people that are working, helping you out with the business, because then they'll steer you in the wrong direction or give you wrong advice or, there was a lot of things like suppliers who, you didn't work well with. You need to make sure you cut them off and not work with them anymore. I don't know. There was a lot in the beginning.
What about the accounting piece, the payroll piece, supply chain piece, which you kind of talked about? But I know there's and the only reason I'm going into all this, and we don't have to go deep into it, but the thing that, and the question that I posed to you off stage or off camera was, what do you say to somebody who wants to be more involved in this industry? Coaching seems to be the go-to place. Like there's a new coach every day. It seems like, and that's not a criticism, just an observation. And yet, there's all these other areas to branch out into, to be involved in the industry, to get, to pursue that passion. So what would you tell somebody who is wanting to be more involved, but doesn't know what to do yet?
I think just pick what they like and then go for it, and then they're going to, if they believe in it, then they're going to do it. But you can't do this, follow your dreams and then do a bunch of other stuff. You need to focus 100% on what you believe in. Like for me, I knew that I couldn't do both because I'm going to fail at both. So I picked one thing. And I think a lot of times, people are scared. And I always have these talks with I'm friends that are scared, and they're scared to let go of their safe job and follow their career. And people even in this industry that I've talked to that are now so successful in this industry, I remember talking to them and telling them it's okay. Sometimes you might have to take a step back or two, but then you're going to get ahead in the end because you believe in what you believe in. But if you're doing both, you're never going to make this one succeed. And I've told a lot of people this, and they listen to me. So that's good.
I love that. I mean, and as you were talking, the two words that were popping into my head is passion and sacrifice. Yeah. So you talked about pick something you're passionate about, pick something you love and you're interested in, and then you got to be willing to sacrifice, and you got to be willing to fall down and skin your knee and pick yourself up by your bootstraps and get back at it and continue to believe in yourself, which, I mean, it's hard.
It's hard in the beginning. I didn't know, I just knew this is what I was going to do. I had no money. I was living in an office. I didn't even have a shower. I had to go, live off cup of noodles. I stopped paying my bills. I wasn't making money in the beginning, but I knew this is what I needed to do.
Well, and I do think we should talk a little bit about that too, is that it's hard in the beginning, but it doesn't get any easier. It just gets different kind of hard.
Different kind of hard.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so like now managing this other, this flourishing business that you have, there are other challenges I'm sure you face on the daily.
Yeah.
What are those?
Well, it's just like growing, growing pains. I have to be a mom, so I have to learn to delegate. And there's just always something. There's always something that I have to put more energy into, like myself. But I'm lucky that now I have a team. I just need to learn how to delegate.
Is that hard for you?
It's hard for me sometimes.
Why?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
Is it
because are they going to do it better? They do. They do. And I have delegated the last week and I feel good about it. It's just like, it's like I want to hold on to everything. But I feel like once I learn to delegate, then it's like it takes it away from me and it gets done. Because I'm taking everything in and I want to do everything, but then I can't do it all. So it's just goes back to the same thing. So I'm talking to myself. Just kidding.
Well, no, I do think that every business owner hits that point. I mean, I know certainly, I can relate completely. Yeah. I mean, when you can do it all, the outcome. So there's that sense of security of like, I know it's getting done. I know it's getting done the way I want to get done. Now when you start to hand things off, sometimes it's not going to be exactly how you expected. And that's okay. Maybe it's better. Yeah. But it is like that. It's that letting go of control and then, kind of trusting those people. And then, when they make mistakes, helping them to grow and learn just the way that we had to when we first started. So
exactly. And it's just like making sure, we're managing them properly and giving them the proper tools to, be successful.
That is tough. That's tough to trust your people to get out of their way and let them do their thing.
Yeah.
And then part of that involves trusting the work that they do, which may not be the way that you would do it, but that's not the question. The question is it effective?
It's
right?
effective. It's great.
Right.
It's great.
Yeah.
Well, the two of us have very different approaches to just about everything.
Oh,
so I mean, us working together it's been a learning experience for me too. And it's cool because sometimes he'll start doing something and I'm like, that's not right.
Yeah, but it is. Yeah.
And then I'll just back off, let him do it. I'm like, okay, that actually turned out better than
exactly
what, had he done it the way
which is rare.
No, it's actually very, very common, but
exactly.
But it is, even as my husband, I'm like, all right, okay,
yeah.
But he's amazing, but there are it's one of the things like we've really worked on building within our organization is like that ability for people to come and share a different way of doing things or a perspective or, that kind of thing. Cause then, whether it's increasing efficiency, increasing quality,
efficiency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes somebody's got to
like, Mary, my manager, I'll say something. She's like, Margaret, you just did it so hard. Just do it this way. I'm like, oh, okay, perfect.
That's why I hired you.
Yeah. But I need to let go of control.
Yeah.
That's hard.
It's hard.
That's hard. Especially, I think it's even harder because this was your baby.
It was my baby.
I mean, and it is your baby. I shouldn't say was. It is your baby. And when you think about the story that you told us and how you grew this business, how you started this business, it's hard from an ego point of view, from an ownership point of view, from a possession point of view, from a creation point of view, to think, okay, now I'm going to trust. It's almost like trusting your kids with a nanny. Yeah. In a way. I mean,
I'm not that bad, but yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a big part, with what we're doing here in the podcast, we really like to talk about, all the things, and this business, obviously, we're in the bodybuilding world, in the fitness space, and, there's that business aspect to it. There is, the connection aspect of it. There's all these different aspects. And, I think that's something that we've really, kind of come together on and wanted to share. And what I'm excited about is we are going to do our next episode with you where we're going to dig into the nitty gritty.
I love it.
Of, choosing suits and all that goes into it and, that kind of thing. So I'm really excited to do that. But I love that we got this opportunity to hear your story. And I wasn't expecting to learn so much more about you than I already knew. Like, it just makes me love you even more. I just think the world of you, and and all of your success is well earned. And
thank you so much. I love you guys too, and thank you for giving me the opportunity. Like when I first reached out and having me on here, it's a real honor. Thank you.
Well, that's lovely. No, it is. It really is. So, Margaret, I mean, www.toxicangelsbikini.com. Yeah, I know. I'm one of those that says www, but Toxic Angelz, ANGELZ, right?
Yes, with a Z.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. .com.
Yeah.
And what are the other ways that people can reach out to you?
Instagram, email. Yeah, Instagram, email.
Website.
Okay.
Well, you already said that, the www.
I know, but I know I said www. I just like say it, World Wildlife Fund, or I.
World Wildlife Fund. What did you just say?
Well, never mind. That's
World Wide Web.
World Wide Web. Is that what it stands for?
World Wide Web.
Oh. See? Do you learn that in business school?
No.
Oh, okay.
Probably yes.
Anyway, so let's get to the point of a checkout word. So nervous was where we started. Where are we now?
Relieved. No, I'm just kidding. No, it was fun. I had fun doing this.
Well, we're going to have some more fun.
Comfortable.
Episode 2.
Do you want to wrap it up?
Yeah, I think we need to wrap it up. Yeah, I think we need to wrap it up. That's okay.
Cut that out.
No, it's okay. Don't cut it out.
Okay.
We like the unvarnished truth here.
Yes,
and so
we do.
I don't want any edits on these things. I like so when people see me disappearing from my seat, and I know that Jamie talked about that in a recent episode.
It's because he drank too much water.
Because I drank too much water and I had to go to the bathroom, and I don't want to cut because we get in these roles, and so I don't want to cut the conversation. So,
right.
Yeah.
So if you see episodes where all of a sudden he's not here and then he's back,
it's just everything's fine. Everything's
all good. It's all good.
It's just a potty break. It's all good. Okay. So everybody, thanks for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed this conversation. A lot of it was a visit down memory lane, but it's really just part of reminiscing with somebody that we respect and love and admire. And your story was very inspirational, and so thank you for sharing that so freely today. So remember to like, comment, subscribe, and leave your comments. We do take those comments seriously. We've got some comments about doing a show on something about training. I can't remember what it was.
We have several that we've got on the list now that people have sent in. So we're really excited to respond to those and continue to bring you the content you want. So keep.
We do look at it. You may not see it right away, but that should not dissuade you from putting out the suggestion or the feedback, because as we talked about here, we really value the feedback. That's how we get better. So Margaret, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you on our next episode.
Yes, thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for tuning in to FitBody Lifestyle. We hope today's episode has left you feeling motivated and equipped to tackle your fitness goals, business challenges, and the daily dance of life. Remember to value progress over perfection. Life's tough enough alone. Find the chosen family around you to help you along the way.
If you enjoyed today's episode, we'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe and leave us a review on your favorite streaming platform. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram at FitBody Fusion.